واحد اثنين ثلاثة أربعة خمسة. My name is Dima Ayad. I am the creative director for brand Dima Ayad and the founder of DAC Communications. I've been dying to do that, by the way. Like, I'm imagining how I was going to say it. You know how, like, Sheikh Mo does this, but I'm not really sure the thalatha is what. But I'm happy with khamsa. I grew up in Dubai. I've been here for 42 years. I came here when I was 2 years old, and I'm 44 if you want to do the math. I swear to God, if I tell you, first of all, my favorite color on earth is actually purple, so I'm really shocked that this backdrop is purple. I'm Aquarius, so my color is magenta and anything that's in this color. I think the colors of Dubai then were very colorful to me, but they were very bland to many. I used to drive to school and it was all sand everywhere I was, and the color camel was literally very much there. And then there were these really, really bright colors of like neon signs. So you would see this very plain land and then bright colors around us. And that's kind of how my childhood really was. If I would remember distinctively a childhood moment, I think I would say like two main things. One is called Sindibad and another one is Fanfare Chocolate. So Sindibad is this amusement place in Al Ghurair Center. Anyone who grew up here would understand and know the value of what Sindibad was. And Fanfare was like this long, looks like Willy Wonka. It's like this long gold packet, and inside it was like 5 wafers, and they don't do it anymore, but it's the most delicious thing you would ever try. And if they bring Fanfare back, I mean, please bring Fanfare back. That is definitely my Dubai childhood. Yeah.
Not really stuff you don't care about.
At all, but it's so delicious and amazing. Yeah. I actually wanted to be a hospital manager. So my father is a gynecologist, and so he would obviously go to the hospital and the clinics, and I would always go with him on occasion to places, and I would see how like hospitals would be managed, and I just imagined myself running a hospital. So that dream really died down very quickly. I no longer want to be a hospital manager. Can't imagine being a hospital manager. My character I don't think it would fit now. But then that's kind of something I wanted to be. First of all, my core education was marketing and communications. And so when I was growing up, I never really knew that I was actually a marketeer, but I was. So my mother used to shampoo my hair with Johnson's baby shampoo, and it used to say on the bottle, "No more tears." So if I was having a bit of a row or something with my sister before there was weeping, I would just mentally say to myself, Johnson says no more tears, so you can't cry while you're having your soap in your hair. And so I realized that marketing was so much a part of who I was. If my Barbie didn't have its, little shoes, I wouldn't play with it anymore. Like, it's just not complete. And so all of that was like part and parcel of my childhood. And then I stayed in marketing, communications, and hotels. And then suddenly I just realized that I grew up and clothes matter, and I didn't find anything that fit me. And so I wanted clothes. And then I thought there must be a million other women like me who couldn't find clothes in her size. So why not try and make a collection and see how it went? And so I did. I was absolutely fearless. And then before I knew it, it became a brand. And then I had a few failures along the way. Like, I screwed up quite a few times, thinking I was God's gift to fashion. I knew nothing. I really didn't understand the cohesion. I didn't understand what I was doing. And then that's when it became a challenge. I'm like, watch me. I'm going to make this a brand. As for DAC, another thing, DAC was born during COVID. I had no job. I just resigned from, everything, and I wanted to start something new with a brand in the US. And then when COVID hit, everybody was in track pants, so fashion was taking a bit of a backseat. And then I just started calling people that I knew. A big shout out to Clap. That was one of my first brands that I worked on. And then I spoke to Joey from the main, and then before I knew it, it became a small business, and then the business mushroomed, and it all happened by mistake, and it was the best mistake. Yeah, I was still looking for jobs. while this was happening, thinking that I was just going to do this temporarily. And then before I knew it, it became a business. You know something? I don't balance. And anyone who tells you they know how to balance is lying. There's no right formula. I just think really in life, if you want anything enough, you can make it come true. So if I really wanted to lose weight, I think I would have already. And I mean that seriously, because if you really want something to happen or you want change in your life, you can make it happen. No 2 days are the same. One day it's fashion heavy. The next day it's more DAC heavy. Some days both of them are really heavy. But I want them both. So I find a way to make it work. And sure, I've had to compromise a lot of things along the way. My concept of my vacation, always adding, let's say, 2 days here for a bit of a trip here or something there, or mixing business with pleasure. But this concept where somebody says they're switching their phone off or not taking their laptop on vacation, it's like, well, you didn't just say that to me. Like, I can't believe you can do that. I chose this path, and I want to enjoy the journey. I really, really love everything about both. I love meeting people all the time with communication. I love creating new things. I love seeing women in my clothes. I just can't believe some people say, I met my husband wearing your dress. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, wow. First time somebody doesn't wear, skims or special underwear under these dresses, and they're so happy that they're wearing them. I live off that stuff more than you can imagine. And then when we build a new restaurant and suddenly it's the PR of my company that does this with my team, and suddenly this restaurant's full, it's like you had a part to play in that. And these are the things that reward me, to keep me rolling. How long I can keep this going on for? 44 and counting, so let's see.
Only up.
Only up.
Yeah.
Travel. A little fun story for you. I once was so stuck to create a collection, and I didn't know what to do. Like, it wasn't coming through. So I booked a trip. I booked a flight to New York. I stayed awake for those 14 hours. I drew the entire collection on the plane. I rested in the airport, and I flew back. I get very inspired on planes, more than you can possibly imagine. Planes, for me, it's like you're going somewhere else. It's existential. You're in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows who you are. You don't know anybody. And you're on your own, disconnected. And I think that's my favorite disconnect. It's kind of like forced disconnection. The Wi-Fi is a bit lame. It's not very good on planes. We know that. It's always never in real time. So I love flying and creating. I also get really emotional on planes. I cry so much on planes. Oh my God. And I always have any form of a Mary, whether it's a Virgin Mary or a Bloody Mary, I consume. And I enjoy it because it really gets my mind off so much. I don't know why I love Bloody Marys on planes. It's just the weirdest thing. And a lot of Worcester sauce and a shitload of Tabasco, a bit of lemon. And I don't know. It's the thing I do. Bloody Mary on planes. I don't know. It's the point thing. Oh my God. So dead, I would love to sit with my mother and my grandmother now. I miss them. I miss everything about them. And I would love to just sit and tell them everything, even if I was able to do it for a hot minute. Alive. Just because I really love Pretty Woman, it'll have to be Julia Roberts. I just have to sit with her, and I have to, reenact every single move of that scenario. But also I would really love to have a really long, lazy conversation with somebody like Sally Field or Lady Judi Dench. I just find them, or I should say Dame Judi Dench. I really, really aspire, and I'm really into the older generation of women who can tell us a story that nobody really can tell us. And I'm tired of always aspiring to this youth generation. We are in that generation, but we want to speak to and see someone who is older and wiser. And this amazing podcast I listen to a lot is called Wiser Than Me. And it's Julia Dreyfus who is in this podcast, and she only interviews women above the age of 60. So it tells a story of this generation that you want to understand. All this jargon that we're learning now, you know, they didn't live gluten-free and they didn't just drink matcha. They had a different life and they did different things and they were amazingly incredible in what they were offering. So what is that, and what are the tips and tricks they can give us on how we grow older but wiser also? Yeah, it's actually amazing. She was, you know, she started in Seinfeld, and so she was Elaine, and so Elaine now has her own podcast, and it's brilliant. She interviews people like Diane von Furstenberg, Ruth Reichel. She used to be the editor-in-chief of Gourmet. She did Vera Wang. All of these women who were incredible, but just older. Very cool. Oh my God, I'm so sarcastic, and I love everything that just, you know, silly. I love being silly, and I love, you know, people being silly around me, and I have my hilarious fits a lot. Speaking to my best friend Firaz, like legit, it's just once the phone call starts and ends, you laugh the whole way. And one of my best friends, Amin Sati, as well, we just laugh like constantly, like tears, you know, but it's all about nothing. It's never about something, you know, and I love laughing about nothing more than, you know, somebody falling or tripping or, you know, these silly things that I find that's not funny. You know what I mean? I like sarcastic humor more than, you know, expected laughter. You know, when you look at something, you think, oh, somebody's going to crack up about this. I'm not those. I don't laugh in comedies. I find them ridiculous. Laughs in a comedy is so lame. Oh my God, no. That's what I mean. Circumstantial, sarcastic things about nothing. It's not funny, you know, and it's forced laughter, I find. That you're going to tell yourself, please laugh. No, laughing is circumstantial. It's not, you know, when you're trying to go and crack up. I think people are depressed to go to comedy shows. Yeah, that was mean. Sorry, but it's true. I'm so inspired by Rabia Kairouz. I love him from my core. I'll tell you. And I used to love Albert Elbaz during the Lanvin era, that beautiful Lanvin era, because when you ask them questions about clothes, they don't talk to you about the clothes. They talk to you about a woman and what a woman means. And I'll never forget when my sister was getting married and she was going to Rabia Kairouz to make her dress. He didn't ask her, do you like what kind of voile, or do you like this satin or whatever? No, he asked her, how did you meet? And what was inspiring from your meeting? And how did you guys connect and fall in love? That was his premise to create a dress. Yeah. I really think the best advice is just be really smart about what you're doing. Like, I've never been all in fashion until I knew that I was onto something. So I always had a day job alongside something else. And I love being a risk taker, but a calculated risk. Today, you can't just leave yourself hanging and just try everything and put all your eggs in one basket. Even though a lot of people say, follow your dream. Yes, but there's a way to follow a dream. Follow a dream systematically. Research. You know, just analyze what's going on. And eventually, you'll make it happen. And also, you know, passion is not the only driving force. You have to be consistent. Even when you're not in the mood, even when things are weird, you have to just stay on the course, because eventually consistency will generate what it is that you want as an outcome. If you're going to start and stop, that's so hard to continue and to keep motivated. I think motivation is something that you can teach yourself. And sometimes you just need to be less spoiled and get on with it. In Arabic we say, my mother used to tell me bala dala. So bala dala, and get up and show up and push. And it's hard work. And you just need to be okay with that. I actually find hard work amazing. This word, it doesn't scare me. It actually motivates me to do amazing things. But a lot of people find hard work in our creative diaspora now. They find it hard to do work, you know? They just want it to come to them. It doesn't work that way. There's a saying as well, اسعى يا عبد لأسعى معك, like push and I'll push with you. But you can't just expect it to just come to you. That's not how the world works. And that's really something I advise creators to do, is like push, but also understand what's working, what's not working. Eventually it'll work itself out if you give it enough of your dedicated time. Oh my God. When was the last time? Oh, I did. So I decided with a very recent friend of mine, who I don't really know very well. So, you know, usually traveling with people that you don't really know well, not just from a business perspective, as friends. I decided to get on a plane in August and go watch Adele for 24 hours with somebody that I don't even know very well. Like, I love her. Big shout out to Joanna Jamil. She's a very lovely, lovely friend of mine. I went with her to Munich. Didn't know much about her. She didn't know much about me. I just knew that one thing in common was Adele. And I was able to cry freely and be pathetic and scream and laugh and sing to my like heart's desire at an Adele concert. Yeah. Are you laughing because there's a similarity? Did she just come and do this? No, you're kidding. She was here? Oh my God, that's so crazy. Oh my God.
It's the same thing, so the same shit.
We had dinner together last night, but of course this wasn't a topic. But this is the first time I ever do something like that. I mean, of course I go to concerts, but getting on a plane and going to Munich with somebody, first of all, I don't know Munich. It wasn't London, Paris, Milan, Rome, Beirut, New York. It was Munich. But I had a great time. And now we're really good friends. Yeah. So we're really... That's so funny. So there you go.
Yeah.
I have to tell her that this happened. Or actually, you guys are going to tell her, or she's going to hear it on KHAMSA. The best advice I received, I want to say, my ex-GM at Atlantis, he passed away, but he has left such a very, very strong, impact on me, is that he told me any business that I ever do, I need to make sure I know how to do every step of it by myself, no matter what. So I would see him in the middle of the lobby carrying bags for people at concierge when concierge was busy. So you're never too proud to do anything in the process of, your business, because one of the things that's so important is if the world shuts down and I have to do it all by myself, I can and I will. There's absolutely no problem. I can get my hands dirty and I can do it. Don't be too proud. And ego is your worst enemy, is the advice he always gave me, and that's so true. If you start with ego, you end up alone in everything. I'm stubborn, for sure. But it's also because I know what I want, I think. I'm not defending stubborn. I'm just, I'm opinionated. And I'm a go-getter. It's so family to me, more than you can imagine. I mean, my nuclear family, I didn't realize that they were the ones that make me the happiest, but it's true. They make me the happiest. Seeing my brand flourish makes me so happy because, like I told you, I love to see women happy wearing the brand. It gives me so much joy. I woke up the day after the Oscars, just now in 2024, and I had this barrage of emails and messages from people in the US because obviously when the Oscars were happening, I was sleeping. And the woman who won Best Makeup for Poor Things decided to buy my dress off of Net-a-Porter and wear it. And she won an Oscar wearing Dima Ayad. And that was like, what? How did I get... What happened? How did that happen? Usually whoever's at the Oscars, they have a stylist. They have people who call you. You get called to borrow clothing. You send clothes. None of that. I just woke up to that. And that was really... was very, very honored by that. And I remembered this moment actually because nights ago, Halle Berry was wearing Elisab for the Elisab show as a remembrance of her being the first African American to win for Monster Ball. And, you know, it's been a really long time since an Arabic designer was on the stage winning or having somebody win with the Oscar in their hand from an Arabic designer. And I was like, am I part of this equation now? Is this really happening? Like, pinch me. I can't believe it. So I was very, very, very happy about that.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was screaming. I just couldn't believe it. I was in disbelief. I'm like, maybe somebody else. So then I even called the fabric supplier that I work with. I'm like, does anybody have this fabric or is it just mine? Just so we're clear, like it's just not with someone else. So that was huge for me. Yeah. Stop being so selfish. Really. Everybody's so selfish. The whole world is selfish. Nobody's thinking of anybody else. You know, we're in a crazy ass time and you feel for people for 5 minutes and then you have to go back to yourself and you and your life and you're this and you're that. And if everybody was just maybe 10% less selfish, we'd be in a much better place.